Hello. Not too long ago, I did a video about why we were all feeling that sudden need to fall asleep if you were feeling hyper and everything was fine, and out of nowhere, you just get sunken into this deep need for a nap. And I said that it is all of us being called for divine conversations by our guides, the great ones, divine beings, God, Allah, whatever name you choose. But what we're being called to do is, firstly, let's start here. We are in an ascension of consciousness. You hear about the Aquarian age, how we've entered the Aquarian age, which is very true. And the Aquarian age being almost like a very feminine energy, a very feminine era. It's a much softer era. I mean, look at the generations that even define this ascension of this consciousness, such as Gen Z, and now we have Gen Alpha. So it's a wonderful, wonderful energy. But also what it means, it's a very honest energy, and it's a very what is meant to be must be kind of energy. So there is nothing that, if it has reached its final frontier, if a relationship has reached its end, if a career you've been in is not the right one for you. I'm now directly speaking to people who are frustrated and unhappy about something, but they've not been able to free themselves from it. You will be freed. And what I mean about that is that it's not just like kumbaya, happiness, be freed. For instance, if you are someone who lacks in self-esteem and you've been putting up with a relationship that does not value you, even if you yourself cannot end it, the other person will end it. It will end. It is unavoidable. And I know that there are a lot of people who might get a bit frightened by this, but it is not something to frighten you. It's because if we're ascending in consciousness, that consciousness which has been dominant the most recent years, thousands of years, it's actually 2,000 years, but it's over. It's why we're seeing what's happening with Israel and Palestine, what we're seeing with the dismantling of the system that is the US, the UK. I remember about 2 years ago, I was speaking to somebody and I said to him, once the Queen of England, the late Queen, passes away, because I had seen that coming about so I was seeing it coming in about a year or so when I was speaking to the person. So maybe this was 3 years ago. And I said to him, once she goes, everything is just going to come to light. Literally, you have all these key figures that were part of the reason why humanity is still stuck in a consciousness that we ought to be ascending away from. And so once you start to see those certain players start to disappear, either through the ending of their lives on this earth, or in other ways, it's because those are the signs that everything is pretty much coming to an end. And so I hear a lot of people worried about, even politics, what's going to happen. Like in South Africa right now, it's the election period. I know in America, it's later in the year. Multiple countries actually have had their elections already this year, and others, the elections are still coming up. And everyone is so concerned about, what if this happens? What if that happens? One thing I can tell you for certain is that there will never again be someone in charge who is not supposed to be in charge. If anyone has manipulated their way, which is quite common in politics, so bless. If they are there for the wrong reasons, they will not stay. Whatever it might be, toxicity no longer has room in this world. And if you understand anything about Aquarian energy, you'd understand why there would be no room for that. There will be no room for disrespect. There will be no room for mistreatment, no room for lies, no room for devious behavior, and absolutely no room for pedos. So we're entering a stage where grapists will be revealed. If anyone is doing anything that hurts anybody, it's going to be revealed. So if we're being called to ascend into a higher consciousness, which is unavoidable. And so what does this mean if one does not ascend with the energy as it is? First of all, it is impossible in the sense that that which must happen will happen. So whatever ending must come to you, or new beginning must come to you, change of career, travel, whatever it is, it will happen. It is just completely unavoidable. What will determine whether you will still be a reincarnating soul is how you handle those endings, those beginnings. Do you embrace them and allow the new to come in, or do you keep fighting to remain in your previous consciousness? That is the big thing. So if someone, I know I work with a lot of people who say, oh no, there's black magic and witchcraft and this has been done to me, blah 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 blah. So if such a thing has been done, it will be revealed. It just will not stay hidden. If a marriage was through the use of manipulation of energy in order for it to come to being, it's going to be revealed. If that's not your baby, it's going to be revealed. If your boss has been working behind your back, it's going to be revealed. And what's beautiful about all these revelations is they're going to all happen through the most unexpected people. In companies, the whistleblower will be that person that no one ever thought would ever be a whistleblower. And not so much because they're a quiet person or something like that, but precisely because they were deep in it. There's going to be a rise of heart, of conscious heart, where that some people, particularly people who are pretending to be something they're not, or they just got derailed in life because of greed, because of wanting to be like everybody else, and so committed the wrong act, they will confess. So we are being called to shed the old so we can receive the new. Because if you think, if you're of the school of thought that Earth is a ghetto and you don't want to come back, then absolutely, that is entirely up to you. But the Earth that will be in existence, and it will be in full existence in 100 years. What that means is that it will be working towards it, and there will be signs of it throughout, leading up, building up to the 100 years. Ooh. Oh well. There will be multiple signs, as not even signs, events that show that there's that progression, etc., etc. And you'll just see in time that that which was allowed to exist in the world will no longer be exist. It's such an exciting time, and I think we should all welcome it with an open heart, open third eye, and all that grand stuff. So I'm very excited. And see you in 100.